Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Alopecia Angel podcast, Awaken to Hair Growth. Today, we're talking about diet. And diet is the first thing that most people like to change, like to dabble into, to research when it comes to alopecia or really any autoimmune disease, or even for hair loss, or we'll eat for hair growth or this or that. Let me just tell you, if you didn't listen to episode 2, I guess you'll hear it now. Diet alone will not heal your alopecia. Diet alone will not take care of your hair loss. Why is that? Alopecia is a big puzzle, and there's tons of puzzle pieces for this puzzle, for you to see full hair growth, for you to see all of it come about. And so because of that, diet alone will not do it. It needs more. It needs much more than just diet. Diet is important, but it's not everything, right? If it was everything, we wouldn't be here and you would have healed a long time ago, I'm sure. What I also want to say is that with diet, not one size fits all. I say this because in my program, we cater and tailor and customize the program to everyone's diet. You wouldn't believe, but everyone has a different diet, right? Especially maybe what they're starting with. You have vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, you have meat eaters, you have people who don't eat beef, you have people who are kosher, you have all these different types of diets. And again, this is why one size does not fit all. And so in the Hair and Heal program, this is where we customize it for you, because you can't expect everyone to eat the same or to do things in the same manner. And not just that, but I've told you before that I've healed children as I have adults. And children, depending how old they are, their diet tends to be a little bit different. And so you also need to consider that. This is also why the customization portion of the program is so crucial, because without it being customized, you can't start. You really can't. And if you do start without a custom approach, without a tailored approach, then you might be missing out on a bunch of things that could be hindering your hair growth or could be holding you back. Not necessarily blind spots like last time, but just that you need that extra step of really getting this evaluation in there. So diet alone will not heal your hair growth. When it comes to healing hair growth and hair loss, it's not just one thing. A lot of times when I explain what I do to others and I say, hey, I help people with alopecia, I help them regain their hair growth and their health back in less time. They're like, oh, what is it? Just stress? And I'm like, no, it's not necessarily just stress. Stress could be a factor, but it's not the end all be all. And that's just it. We can't treat any one factor as the end all be all, because it's not. Because if you don't know by now, everything is connected. Everything is connected, and it's connected in multiple ways. And depending where you live, this could also be a situation where, again, it needs to be tailored to you. The clients in Australia versus the UK versus South Africa versus Canada versus the United States versus Malaysia versus the Netherlands versus Germany or Egypt or Morocco, it's all very different. So you need to customize for that. There's no other way around it. What I find sometimes is that there's a very small percentage of people who say, I've done every diet under the sun. I've done this diet and that diet, and I've taken out so many different food groups, and I have allergies, or I have this, or I have that, and nothing's worked. Again, what I'll tell you is that diet alone will not heal alopecia. And for those of you who are dietitians or nutritionists or who are personal trainers, I 100% understand where you're coming from. You think you understand diet and food and micronutrients so much more than the average population. I get that 100%. But what I will tell you, and what I'll tell everyone else, is that when you're dealing with alopecia, you are also needing to customize that plan when it comes to diet. Why? Because if you're diabetic, you have a special diet. If you are going through cancer or chemo, you have a special diet. If you're a child, you have a different diet. If you have alopecia, the diet also changes. Again, I don't know what they teach you in school as a nutritionist or as a dietitian. To my understanding, it's all very general. Nothing is very specific. Because if it was specific and if you knew and had all the information, then I wouldn't have had clients that are nutritionists, that are dietitians, that are personal trainers who come to me with alopecia and with massive hair loss. And it's not recent, it's over years. So again, I think there's a disconnect in the education that many receive and even that doctors receive, because if the doctor could have helped me or you or anyone else, then again, we wouldn't be here. But that's not the case. So I think there's a huge disconnect in the education and in the education system. I also think there's a huge disconnect in how we perceive what diet looks like. Some of you are afraid of diet. Some of you are afraid of changes to your diet. That's something that I can walk you off the ledge off, because the diet that I customize to you is not necessarily long-term. It's short-term. It's short-term, and it's to boost your health, but at the same time, it's to also clear the clutter. To not say another word, it's to clear the clutter of anything that's not serving you, anything that's not helping you achieve those results. And so in my program, we clear the clutter, we boost your health, and this is part of it. This is what's needed. What you define as healthy many times is not correct. And when I say you, I mean everyone, including myself. When I had alopecia, I thought health looked a certain way. I thought it was a certain way in terms of food and everything. And again, I was at my fittest. I was super fit. I was super healthy. And yet I wasn't, because I still got alopecia. I also had blind spots. I also didn't realize. And I had a lot of blind spots in my diet. How's that? I had a lot of blind spots in my diet. I ate a lot of things that I thought were healthy, that people on TV, that doctors were saying, hey, these are healthy foods for you. They're not healthy for someone with alopecia. So what could be healthy for the regular person is not necessarily healthy for someone with alopecia. Imagine that. Huge aha moment there for you, I'm sure, because that's the truth. Someone going through another illness or disease can or cannot have grapefruit because it mixes in with their medication, or because it's not good for them. It's having too much citrus. I'm sure you guys have seen that, where on the medication, it says, don't eat grapefruit with this medication, don't have citrus, or don't do this, because it'll affect your body. It'll affect how you absorb maybe the medication, or how it just functions within. Grapefruits are healthy, so is citrus, and why not? It's because of those side effects. And again, the way you define health is very different. And then on top of it, if you have those allergies, if you have certain values with food, certain things you eat and don't eat, certain things that you won't eat, certain things that you think is right, which could also be holding you back. I know there was a couple of food items that were holding me back. Actually, yeah, more than a handful. And those are things that you think they're fine and they're not fine. This is why diet alone does not heal alopecia.
Gut health. It's a trendy word. It's a trendy phrase that everyone needs to be mindful of their gut health. There's lots of things to be mindful of, right? You see this in magazines, you see this on Instagram, you see this everywhere. However, what I don't want any of you to think or believe is that gut health is the end all be all. That gut health is the one thing that you need to do to get your hair back, or is the one thing that's going to lead you to hair growth, because that's a misnomer. That's a true misnomer. Gut health is important, absolutely. But this is like a car. Your body is like a car. It's not just about the gasoline. It's not just about the motor. It's not just about the tires. There's so much more that goes and that's involved in the mechanics of the car to make it run smoothly. It's not just one thing. It's not just diet. It's not just gut health. It's not just this. It's not just that. It's a lot of things put together. And for some people, some things can be quite easy. Like for me, yoga is pleasurable and it's easy. And for some people, it's not. For some things can be quite easy or quite challenging, but this all depends on you. But going back to gut health, I recently started working with a gut health coach. She came to me because of her hair loss. So she's a new client. She just started the Hair and Heal program, which those doors just closed a couple weeks ago. She's been in this profession for the last 20, 30 years or more. She's been the gut health coach for eons before gut health was even a thing. And so she's queen bee in her field. She's queen bee about this knowledge. And yet she too has hair loss. And yet she too has blind spots. The magic here is that when she started the Hair and Heal program, the first thing she does, and anyone does, you get the intake form. Once you get the intake form, you get my recommendations back. So she's in a different time zone. And between my recommendations to her and her implementing it, it was less than 24 hours. Less than 24 hours. And I get an email and she tells me, Johanna, the hair loss stopped in just 24 hours. I was absolutely beside myself. I've heard of many clients see amazing results in just 2 days, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, but 24 hours? That's a new record. It's an absolute new record. And granted, she is a gut health coach. she does and has worked on herself many years and clearly has gone into this profession because of her own concerns. And she does help other clients. But I'm sharing her story so that you can see and understand that gut health isn't everything towards hair growth. And there are aspects that can hold you back, regardless of your background, regardless of your education, regardless of you thinking that you found the root cause. Because let me give you a secret. It's never just one thing. So for any of you out there thinking, oh, my one thing is stress. Oh, my one thing is thyroid. Oh, my one thing is this. My one thing is that. It's never one thing. I'm sorry to break the news. It's never one thing. It's always a multiple aspects. It's multiple things. And just like the car parts that make the car run, just like all the aspects of our biology and our bodies, it's never just one thing. And so many times we need to step aside from our ego, step aside from what we think is right for us and understand that there's more to it and that there's more work to do. And so I shared the story of this gut health coach who is a brand new client because she's been struggling with hair loss for over 20 years, 20 years. And she tried to do it herself, right? I think most women, most people want to try to do things themselves, right? Whether it's the weight loss, whether it's the hair growth, whether it's the healing of their eczema or the autoimmune disease or this and that. But I got to tell you, raising your hand and asking for help is probably easier, faster approach, and also gets you to the finish line, gets you to those results a lot quicker and faster. So for example, for any of you who have been on a fertility journey or a health journey outside of hair loss, you'll know that it takes more than just one thing. And sometimes one person has all the answers. For example, when I was going through my alopecia, I went through a gazillion doctors, more probably just like you. And the thing is, none of them had the answers for me. If you still think that your alopecia, your hair loss is just due to one thing, you're missing the mark. You really are. And you're probably doing yourself or your child a disservice because it's more than one thing. Even if you think you've moved over or you've, let's say, targeted a big boulder, there's always more to go with it. It's just like weeds in a garden. There's never just one. There's always more to it. Or let's say ants or termites or anything else that might be happening. They never work by themselves. They'd have a colony nearby. And so it's always something for you to consider. Many times we can try to do things ourselves, but it's a lot easier if we focus with a proven method with the pro who's been there, done that. And just this gut health coach, I don't know at what point she found me, but she decided to take action. And I believe that's the single most important factor here. It's not the fact that it's been 20 years and she's been dealing with hair loss. It's not the fact that she's a gut health coach. It's the fact that she took action, and the sooner the better. Because imagine in her case, she was absolutely devastated with the amount of hair loss that she was going through, and it just stopped in 24 hours. 24 hours. What would you do if that was you? How would you feel if that was you stopping all the hair loss in just 24 hours? And then, of course, the next step is moving into the hair growth. That's the beauty of it. You stop the hair loss, you move into the hair growth. It's quite simple. And so this is the power of eliminating blind spots. This is the power of working with me, of working inside the Hair and Heal program, because it doesn't matter if your education or your background or your experience. At the end of the day, we all have blind spots. I'm guilty of this too. This is why it took me over 4 years to figure this out for me. And then of course, to see it for others as well. It's 4 years of, for me at least, of just an elongated, delayed success rate. And for her, it's 24 hours. And for you, it could be a couple days, weeks, who knows? But all that in comparison to what you've already been experiencing for all the months, years, and decades that you've been dealing with the hair loss, that's huge. That's so huge. It's nothing in comparison. And so that's the beauty of it. Taking action, understanding that we don't know everything. And so the do-it-yourself approach is very common, but it actually leads to more mistakes. It leads to more blind spots, to self-doubt. It leads to inquiry amongst people and forums that don't have the answers, that are not in your situation, that don't have anything relatively similar to you. Because even though if we all had the same type of hair loss, the healing aspect would all look very different. It's not a one size fits all. It can never be a one size fits all. That's why when someone just makes a blanket statement of saying, hey, look at your gut health and this is all you need. No, it's not. So sorry. That's not all you need. That's like saying in order to lose weight, all you need to do is reduce your calories. That's not true either. And that doesn't work for a lot of people. We know this. Or just the opposite. It's just like saying you need to work out more and eat less. That also doesn't work in theory, at least not long term. And so the thing is, it's like there's more to it and there's always more than one blind spot. But the thing is, the sooner you catch these, the sooner someone can bring these to light, the better it is for you. So I wanted to share this lady's story with you so that you can hear just how empowering it is to work with an expert, to see the hair loss stop in 24 hours after 20 years of hair loss, and her being solely focused on gut health, helping people and clients with gut health. And yet it's still not enough for the hair loss to stop or for the hair shedding. In just 24 hours, the hair loss stopped. It may sound like a miracle. It may sound like this is blasphemy, but in reality, like I have the email, she's got the results, and that's all that matters. And at the end of the day, all that matters is your results, not my results, not her results, not anyone else's results, but yours. Your results matter. Your hair matters. And the way we achieve that will look different than anyone else because we're all different. We're all so individual, so unique that this will definitely look different in terms of the healing process and in terms of getting to where we want to get to. Full hair growth. I'm in my mid 40s. Like I've got tons of hair and it's for a reason. And this is just it. Once you know and you do, then you see the results. That's where the magic happens. I hope that this helped you understand a little bit about your situation. I hope this has helped you get inspired about what's possible, because just like her, so many of us others that are going through hair loss can also stop the hair loss in 24 hours or less. We can also stop it in 2 weeks or less. We can also stop it in 3 weeks or less, or 3 days or 4 days. It just all depends on who you are, how you respond as a student, and implementation. Step-by-step approach tailored to you. Thank you so much. Please rate and review our podcast, and I look forward to speaking to you next time. Take care.
Thank you for listening to the Alopecia Angel podcast, a positive light in healing alopecia. You can do this and we can help. Spread the word that reversing alopecia is possible by telling your friends and family.